As we have got to the top left-hand side, the red Zerg player. Starting this off with Impact. Up against the pink Protoss in the bottom right, we have got Zest. So Impact Zest here as our 5th series of the day. After this, we're halfway through the group, which is always very exciting, and we start to begin to see just where these matches are going to and where the players are going to start ending up at in terms of their overall scores and just some stuff like that as well. So, start to see where things are at after this one, as we are good to start. So, yeah, exciting stuff. Again, QS so far I feel is already eliminated. It feels like there is no possible way. Well, in fact, yes, Q is already eliminated. It's absolutely guaranteed. 1-7 in the group, and Zest, Impact, and Trust are 2-0s. All Bly has to do is win one more map, and he's guaranteed at least 4th place in the group. So that's already something to keep in mind as well. I mean, everyone else, Zest, Impact, and Trust, we've seen them 2-0 Q today so far. So now we're going to start seeing things really develop. Now, Zest, we're going to see his series next. Zest versus Impact, then versus Trust, then versus Bly. So we're going to see how those go. And what that turns into is this overlord from Impact coming down to the bottom right-hand side of the map. Main base is going to drop down. And see a Cybercore being built, so nothing crazy yet. There's going to be hatch, gas, and a pool before a third hatchery comes down pretty quickly as well from Impact. So pretty quick setup here so far. That free hatch coming down without much to talk about. This map very very large, coming in on the macro category. This little entrance over here in towards the kind of the free bases. So it's actually quite nice about to defend free bases on right. You hold sort of here-ish and see either the ramp or this entrance, and you can sort of sit in a concave here. Maybe this ramp's a bit tough to hold. This feels like the sort of base where the Protoss pushes up this ramp, goes force field, and you're like, crap. So you kind of need to be in position over here, but then of course the rotation around to here is something you have to be on point with. Otherwise the Protoss player gets force fields across here, and then it's kind of painful too, so that might create some interesting dynamics later as we see a very fast robotics facility from Zest in game number 1. This is not going to be accompanied by a Twilight or anything, so probably a very fast Immortal or two into a Prism. Or a very fast Prism straight up. But you need to do something to slow the Zerg down and apply some pressure, so I feel like an Immortal into a Prism or a Prism into an Immortal. Apply some pressure and see what you can get done with it. 2 Stalkers already out, and the Warp Gate continuing along. The Gateway is now coming down on the low ground. There's no initial low ground wall off here by Zest, so he's going to have an open entrance here for a while. Weak wall as well, with the pylon, double gate, and another pylon as well. 2 pylons in the wall off, so super vulnerable to something like a Baneling Bust. Let's see the 2 Stalkers pull into the side, going to fill that gap between the buildings. And the Warp Prism coming in for high ground vision, so actually we'll be able to pick off the early Overlord here thanks to this Warp Prism high ground. And that's going to be one very dead Overlord from Impact, but he does know about the Warp Prism at least, right? So you get some information out of this. Nothing else building from the Robo facility just yet. Impact with that Roach Roaring coming up. He's actually going to have a lot of money for quite a lot of roaches here. We'll see how he wants to apply this. As we are just going to be seeing the few extra Stalkers again coming in at the front. Just now going to throw down this pylon right here as well. I mean, there's a few Lings initially. Again, the Roach count definitely can rise up because Impact has a lot of gas, but he doesn't have the supply to make a bunch of Roaches right now, and he actually builds a few drones, so not going to do anything all too much. As Zest goes double Forge in PvZ. Now, we actually don't see double Forge being used in Protoss versus Zerg very often. People just don't usually deem that those upgrades are needed to kind of go into kind of double off. Like, usually you just see like an attack upgrade or so, and you kind of skip armor upgrades for a while. There's going to be 1-1 starting up very shortly from Zest as he goes into, again, those Immortals on the way out, so... Oh, he's going to get shield upgrade. Wow, that's even more strange. That's even stranger, huh? How funky is that? Okay, well, give me seeing the extra gates and Twilight Council coming down. This really feels like he's building into something with the Immortals, right? Because with the shield upgrade as well, that really benefits from the Immortals here. benefits the Immortals, which are very reliant on their shields and are generally microed back to only ever take shield damage. I mean, as the Spotlight Council finishes, I imagine we're going to be seeing the charge upgrade starting up. And probably a Temple Archive being moved into as well, right? I mean, seems to make a lot of sense of what we're seeing so far. And shields as well, on top of Immortals. I mean, the best unit for shields is Archons, right? But for now, a couple more sentries, so maybe not so much of a deal. Or maybe he just wants these to push into a third base with initially, and then he's got to follow a plan kind of beyond that. Prism comes over towards the main, going to start unloading a few of these Stalkers, and already this Overlord going to get taken down, so this Overlord will fall. Zergling's in the middle of the map from Impact coming through here. I'm just going to be seeing that Spire on the way up now as well. A couple of Extractors on the way out. Going to be seeing Roach Speeders about halfway done. Temple Archives dropping from Zest in the main base. And the Overseer is coming down the bottom right. A few Zerglings moving forwards up to the top. Observer still just hanging out on the high ground. The Warp Prism from Zest also just again backing away as well. Going all the way up to the top right here, so still looking for more damage with Stalkers. It's just Stalkers don't trade so well against Lings, etc., which are very commonly used to defend this. So yeah, that's a little bit funky as we see the Stalkers unloading. There's just not really much opportunity for them to do much at all here, so Stalkers are deflected pretty quickly. Zest has to pull away just slightly there. I'm still just waiting to see, interested to see what the game turns into from this point. I mean, we do now see Archons on the way up, Charge Lots coming in, and it's turned into a pretty regular composition. Immortal, Archon, Zealot is very much so commonly seen. It's just a bit of a weirder way of doing this. Now, the path in here is definitely messed up a little bit for Zest. Fortunately, those Lings are on move command, and so he isn't punished for it. Continue to move upwards now. And armies will join back up together again. So things will be joined back up together as they continue to the upper left. First find a sentry over here and a couple of Lings going down. Zealots will be warped in to try and defend this as the fourth phase of Impact now in some trouble. It's a lot of Ravagers to try and defend with though, and Zest already pulling back here, not wasting any time at all. So Zest pulling back a little bit, some Zerglings being taken down. Zealots continue to drop into place. You see Stalkers picking up a lot of Zerglings. So a lot of Lings being taken down at the moment as those Immortals continue to chunk their way through the last couple of Roaches here. Continue to again just pull them back. Another Stalker getting shot down. Overseer up in the skies taking quite a bit of damage too. These Immortals are still surviving, which I think is so impressive. Hits across the bow there. And the Zealots need to get in front. I don't know why they're hanging around in the back. Get in front, protect those Immortals. He runs. Oh my god, past Corrosive Files. That was very scary for a moment. Why aren't the Zealots just charging in? Zest is like continuously keeping them back. I mean, he has charge on the Zealots, so it just feels like he's never using them. Immortals are still being used to whack out the damage on those Roaches. Now the Zealots will charge in. Maybe he just wanted a few more before he committed forwards. Zest still finding quite a bit of damage here, but now has to be very careful with the Immortals. Zealots charge in once again. Rav's just going down very quickly. A couple of transfusions, not really doing enough just yet. Finally, Zest losing an Immortal. These Immortals have been low for a long time. There's another wave of Zealots coming through. Is he going to have enough to break through Impact here? No, those +2 attack upgrades are meaning the Zealots and Immortals do so much damage, and the fact he's got the shields as well, helping those Zealots survive a little bit initially. Immortals continue to micro, jumping up, jumping down. All workers killed. Zest only on 47 workers, so this is kind of a 2-base all in altogether. So if he gets held off, Impact's going to be in a great spot as the Warp Prism Micro is still very, very good. Oh my god. The Warp Prism Micro is actually insane. Look at it go! Warp Prism Micro is so sick. That was crazy. I mean, Impact's forward base here is so out of the way as well. Like, this base feels so disjointed from everything else rather than just like expanding up here. Still holds on though, and Zest didn't even kill the base. Now, this all said and done, Zest does have an army supply kind of gathering up quite quickly. He's remorphing in Archons. His Immortals will have barriers and shields back up and running. A few Mutas have just come out actually, and the Mutalists, I mean, he's built 2, I think, just to chase down the Warp Prison, but that's not going to do anything. Oh my god, because he's going to pop all the barriers on the Immortals. That's actually huge, because now the Immortals are nowhere near as tanky as they'd like to be. Okay, so this time Zest will commit towards the 4th base. Archon's getting rid of the Mutalists here, sick of their nonsense and shenanigans. The issue is, I mean, one Immortal goes down. There's just not going to protect those Immortals at the moment. And again, if the barrier's gone, they're going to go down so quickly. The Prism can try and micro, but I think there's just too much here from Impact. Too many Roaches and Ravagers at the moment, just pressing through and cleaning Zest out, pushing him away, and get out my base, get away from me. Roaches and Ravagers still running forward. Here's an Immortal, taking some damage. Archon taking some hits as well. More corrosive bars dropping down. One Archon cleaned up already. Second Archon now goes down. I mean, some Stalkers starting to show up. They don't even have Blink upgrade just yet, though. That's still in production. And so it feels as though Impact has a little bit too much here for Zest in game number 1. Looks like Impact will be able to push through and, again, grab this first game. So very nicely done here so far. As we're going to be seeing the army of Impact continue to press forward. See a couple of Zelts will turn and fight, pushing those Ravagers and Roaches back once again. But we'll see it from Impact hanging out between the natural and the third base. We've seen the Zealots continue to charge on forwards here. A couple more corrosive bars coming down. Units having to kite away. More Ravagers dropping in as well. Zealot's going to keep on charging through, and again the Immortal, I mean, kind of staying alive with the Warp Prism micro. He's got 2 Warp Prisms now. And the Impact just continues to kite back away from the Zealots. And again, once the Zealots are gone, he's through onto those important units such as the Immortals and Stalkers. And then you start taking losses at Zest that it's much harder to recuperate from. Another wave of Zealots will buy some time. Obviously, Impact has to run all the way across the map to get reinforcements here, so he's a little slow to get it going, but he kills another Immortal. I mean, every Immortal that drops down is less damage on those Roaches every 3 seconds, and that's huge, because the Immortals really are so good against those Roaches. Zest on 24 army supply is pushing this away, but for how much longer exactly? Well, really that much. Corrosive Bars will kill one of the 2 Warp Prisms now as well. Still see those Lings, Roaches, and Ravagers pushing down to the bottom side. Units continue to come on out. Going all the way down to the bottom. 6, 8 Ravagers actually moving in right here. We'll try and push in towards the bases. So a few more High Templar morphing in. Going to morph straight in towards Archon. So getting in towards Archons very quickly. And of course the bar's still dropping down and pushing straight in towards these Zealots. I mean, again, we kind of know that I think Impact is meant to win this game at this point. It's just a matter of eventually breaking through. Zest is still only on 47 workers. There's a few Lings trying to get some kills here, but the shield battery actually bought a little bit of time. And now the Warp Prism is actually zoned away from those units on the left, so it'd be kind of interesting to see if Impact can just get on top of those units on the left-hand side, because the Warp Prism can't micro them to save them. Corrosive Bars on the Warping in units forces the Zealots to lift up right away. Now again, those couple of Archons starting to get very, very low. One of them even falling down. Another look down on the way up here from Impact, so he's getting himself continued some tech choices. I mean, Hydra then came down, he hasn't added Hydras yet. I don't know why you would when the Roach Ravager is kind of doing the job for you. The Hydra's just going to kind of slow down the momentum that you've built up here already as the couple of Mortals, coming forwards. Corrosive Bars again hitting Archons as they morph in, so they become so weak they're probably even part of the actual fight now. Well, some Lings coming streaming in as well. Maybe that's a little bit of tankiness in the front lines that the Roaches and Ravagers need to actually get rid of some more of these units. The control is insane, man. Zest continuing to work with these Archons and Immortals to the best of his ability. And he's going to push this away once again. Resources lost, just 26,000 from Impact versus the 19k of Zest. I mean, that changes when Lurkers come onto the map. In fact, even these Mutas coming in is pretty sick. That was so sick from Zest. Zest continue to defend. I mean, it's obviously a mixture of things. The upgrades are very good from Zest right now. He's got upgrades. He's got so much. I mean, like, I can't even list it all off in time. The upgrades are so good. The control is so good. It's just he doesn't have many workers, and obviously the Roaches aren't exactly great units as the game goes by here. You're going to see one Roach getting picked off. Zerglin's still moving forwards as well. A lot of Mutas flying out over to the far right-hand side. So a lot of Mutas flying out over to the far right side of this. +2 missile attack on the way up from Impact as well. So he's going to continue. And I mean, with the Mutas flying into the main, he's going to deal damage to Zest that Zest can't really recover from. But Zest says, well, you've made spent money on Mutas. You don't have as many Roaches now. So I'm going to go for a straight up push through the center of the map. Straight in towards, I mean, the 4th base is going to be sacrificed here. So the 4th base goes down. Probe's pulling away. I mean, I don't know where to, because let's face it, there's no defense here at all. Zest may just enter full-on base trade mode. He has a good amount of stalkers. Can he keep them alive while fighting the roaches and ravages? Because they are going to be so necessary against these heroes. Zest has no more money, no more income. Dropping Archons in towards the front, the Stalkers and the Mortals, the Archons as well, everything possible here trying to fight. A lot of drones going down, and now Zest without drones in front will start to fight against the real Roach Ravager force here. And well, they're going down. The Roaches and Ravagers are not sticking around. Probes are going to come into this fight as well, as we're going to be seeing Archons will be able to fight against the Mutas. He loses the Warp Prism, so loses that micro potential. The Mutas are going down as well, though. 11 probes remain from Zest, so he can start mining again, and this army survives. He's going to win the game! Are you kidding me? What? The frick? What? He's actually going to win! I was like, well, maybe he can mine and impact a second game. Somehow, some way, Zest is up a map in this 2 games against Impact. He's the pink Protoss in the top left-hand side. Let's see some love from Zest, because he absolutely deserves it. Wow. Bottom right-hand side, the blue Zerg player is Impact, who has to look at that game and be like, well, what now? What do I do now? What on earth am I... It's crazy. What's up, little Moo Cow? Saying hello in the first time for the chat, and the chat for the first time. How you doing? Smitty RN comes over the Twitch Prime for 5 months in the row, saying I can watch games like that because of you, Wardy. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. If you guys are enjoying the games today, enjoying the action and the stream, do not forget to hit that follow button. See when we go live again in the future. We're live again on Friday with more Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament action. And, of course, if you're enjoying the stream even more so than that, you can, of course, think about subscribing or supporting in other ways. If you're a Twitch Prime user, don't forget that Twitch Prime sub is free. If you haven't used it already this month, give it a click. Helps us continue producing content a whole bunch, so do check that out. Overlord from Impact starts to head across to the upper left-hand side of the map. So, Impact heading into the upper left. Looking to see what's going on. As we do have the Nexus dropping down in the natural expansion. Back on Acropolis here then. We saw this map not too long ago actually. Sometimes we do see those maps just showing up a little bit here and a little bit there. Black Barrel coming in with the fresh subscription. Actually a bit of a sub train. Black Barrel hitting us up with the fresh new sub. Followed up by Ascorbic Acid for the 44 months. Saying stay awesome. Thank you so much. Do you get some love in the chat for those two. And then Avoid the 9 to 5 comes in with the Twitch Prime sub as well. The Twitch Prime helps me avoid the 9 to 5. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Black Barrel, Ascorbic Acid, and Avoid the 9 to 5. Thank you for the love, guys. Appreciate it. And as we do have the third hatchery from Impact here, dropping in on the right side. Probe nibbling away at a couple of these mineral patches at the moment, just being a little bit of a nuisance. Stargate is starting up from Zest back at home, so getting that started here. Let's see Warp Gate on the way up. Zep just shading forwards at the moment. Stargate about to finish here from Zest, so that's going to be done in a moment or two. It's being chrono boosted out at the moment again. Third hatchery finishing. The Adept still just hanging around a little bit as well. Again, Queen just pressing forwards. The early game pretty passive actually with the Stargate coming up. Not going to be as hyperactive as the last game with that Robo and the early Warp Prism that we saw. It obviously created a lot of opportunities last time around as Phoenix just starting to clip on that Overlord here. So Overlord taking a good little bit of damage. So Overlord taking some hits. Going to be seeing that Adept shading back in towards the natural. And the Overlord will fall. The Robo facility now being added in as well. So again, that's set up as the Phoenix continues down to the bottom right-hand side. Just hanging out in the center. Well, Oracle out, but only going to be a single Oracle. The Robo and the Twilight coming down to set up in towards the Archon drop follow-up. I mean, why on earth would you not set up in towards something with which involves like a Warp Prism and dropping after the Micro, which just won you game number 1? Phoenix with a couple shots onto the Overlord, lifts the Queen so the Oracle can come in and just take some shots from the Spore Crawler only. Not the best control in terms of oh my god, terrible control by Zest. I mean, to go from that last game just suddenly messing it up and only getting one worker here is very impressive. Robert has it's like, actually, how can you turn around so much? That's crazy. Anyways, Oracle hanging out in the center. Going to be seeing that Temple Archives dropping in the main. Couple of extra gates coming in as well. Phoenix fighting this Overlord at the moment, so doing a little bit of damage here. More Zerglings down to the bottom from impact. Having a little bit of a run around as the Oracle heading towards the top left-hand side. And Temple Archive is going to be finishing soon, so you can warp in the High Temple. The Oracle typically here to protect the High Temple in case Zerglings come in, so you can actually push those Zerglings away while the High Temple morph into Archons. So 2 Archons starting to morph. Oops, Overlord speed coming up. The Numitas Carapace on the way in here from impact. +1 missile attack starting up on the Evolution Chamber as well. And we do see the lair just about to complete here from impact 2. So again, that's up. Archons picking off the Creep Tumor. We do have these Queens of Impact going to come in. And they are going to be able to push back that Prism. Gets the kill. Oh my god, disaster from Zest. Now he's got 2 Archons that are just going to be abandoned. And it doesn't matter how much damage you pick up, it's not going to make up for the fact that the Archons are going down. But I tell you what, impact on 59 drones. At this point, I'd love to see him just keep building roaches. He needs roach speed though, and I think he's forgetting it at the moment. I feel like if you just keep building roaches right now to kill those Archons, a counterattack becomes extremely difficult to defend because you just lost 2 of your major tech units, and you lost the Warp Prism for micro potential. If you want to bring that Warp Prism back in, you have to stop Immortal production. Maybe if you had roach speed further along, he would go for it. Maybe it's just not quite the right time. As on a few drones, I mean, he still could make this a big Roach Ravager attack. I see those roaches coming over to the left. A Hydralisk then dropping down. I think Impact's a little bit too scared to stick on purely roaches / Ravagers this time around. Roach is just hanging out on the left. You can see a force field just dropping. Roach gets picked off there. A few probes having dropped as we see the couple of Lings running by into the mineral line, getting a couple of probe kills. Extra Zealots warping in at the moment. I'm just going to be seeing them continue to charge through to get the Zerglings. So a few Lings getting picked off again. Roaches from impact gathering up on the bottom right hand side. And we do see that Phoenix and the Oracle hanging out as well. That Prism still being chrono boosted. Extra Zealots coming down. Archons on the way out from Zest. Again, the Lurker Den starting to build up here too. So just getting this started up. Nice little revelation down on the roaches. Army from Zest coming through the middle of the map, and again just going to be going for a large push here. A few more probes than last time, but still a similar idea. No gases on this base. Not, only one worker in gas here, so it's very, very committed to winning this game sooner rather than later. He's actually going to go through the rocks on the left side here, cleaning those out. Opens up this pathway, which obviously he wants to use to push in rather than coming down the ramp here between the bases, I guess. So kind of wants to just stay away from the other 3 bases to kind of make reinforcements from the Zerg take a bit longer. And the Lurker Den's about to finish, so Lurkers can be on the way in a moment or two. Queen taking some shots. I mean, this is a maxed out Zerg army. When he loses a little bit of supply, you can morph in some Lurkers as well, and that's only going to be massively, massively helpful. In terms of dealing with this, he has corrosive bowels dropping down, a couple of force fields being popped. You can see those roaches continue to go down, Archons and Immortals pressing forwards. And you can see those Zealots continue to charge on in, pushing away at all of those roaches. So it's just not enough though. I mean, GG's. I mean, this sounds very anticlimactic by me, but I think it's a very anticlimactic game. You lose those first 2 Archons, and you lose so much potential, and from there you do